Alright, 9-6, solving rational equations. Solving rational equations. Example 1. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is make sure everything's factored. That's the first thing we want to do. In this case, everything is factored. So, what we want to do from here, okay, is basically cross, since this is equal to this, we can set it up as a proportion and cross multiply. So what I want to do is cross multiply here, which would be -4 times x plus 2, cross multiply here. Alright, so we'd have 3 times 5 times the quantity x plus 2. Alright, we want to do that because it's basically set up as a fraction equals a fraction, which is a proportion. Now, before I get to solving here, I'm looking at the bottom here. The bottom can never be equal to 0. So is there any number I can plug in for x here that would give me a 0 on the bottom? Well, this one right here, if I plug in a -2, then for x, that would give me a 0. I can't have that. So x cannot be -2. And again, over here it's the same thing, because if I plug in a -2, that would give me 0. So as long as I get any solution, it'll work as long as it's not -2. So let's continue solving here. We get -4x minus 8, because I distribute that inside. 3 times 5 is 15, and then I'm going to distribute that 15 inside. So that's going to give me 15x plus 30. Okay? Becomes a simple solving this problem. Add the 4x, because I always want to move the smaller to the bigger, minus the 30. So that would give me -38 equals 19x. Divide by 19. That's a 9. That's a 9, by the way. X is equal to -2. Well, I don't even have to plug it in to try, because I already know that x cannot be -2. So my only solution is not a solution, because it doesn't work. So that gives me no solution. Okay? So that's example A. Example B. Let's find out what x cannot be. X cannot be 4, because of that right there. Can this be factored? Nope. But what can x not be? Well, if I take this x squared minus 2 and I set it equal to 0, I add the 2. That tells me that x squared cannot, or so far, is equal to 2. Take the square root. X cannot be the square root of 2. So it also can't be the square root of 2. So those are the things that x cannot be. So as long as I get any solution but those, I'm okay. So again, I cross multiply, and that would give me -2 times x minus 4 equals 2 times quantity x squared minus 2. Distribute. -2x plus 8 is equal to 2x squared minus 4. Alright. We always want the a to be positive, so it's already positive, so I want to move everything over here. So add the 2x, subtract the 8. What I get then is 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. So that'd be a -8 here, and it's -12. So now I can reduce this whole thing by 2. So that would give me x squared plus x minus 6. So that would give me x and x. My sign would be a positive and negative, and it would be a positive 3 and a -2. So therefore I end up with x is equal to -3 and positive 2. The two solutions I get do not fall in this can't be category, so both of them work as of right now. And as long as then they can't be that. We're good to go. So those are your two solutions. You can check them if you want. We can plug a 2 in. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. Plug the 2 in here. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. Negative 2 divided negative 1 equals negative 1, so it works. If I plug the 3 in, again, that would be negative 7, so that would be negative 2/7. And if I plug the negative 3 in here, that's 9. 9 minus 2 is 7, so that would be negative 2/7. And they both work. So you can test them if you want, but they both work in this case. Alright, try C on your own real quick. See what you can do. While I eat some yogurt and some blueberries.
Good video you doing that.
Huh?
Good video you doing that.
Yeah. They really want to see that. Yeah, good stuff. All right, example C. X cannot be 3. And if I take this x squared minus 9 and set that equal to 0, I end up with x cannot be, add 9 to both sides. So I take the square root of both sides, so x cannot equal plus or minus 3. So x, I already have the 3, and it also can't be negative 3. So as long as I stay away from those numbers. Oh, by the way, come back over here. X could not be 4 or plus or minus 2. It should be a positive and negative square root of 2. I forgot my plus and minus there. So you can add that in if you want, but it didn't have any effect on that problem. But over here it might. So we have 3 and negative 3. X cannot be 3 or negative 3. So let's see what we get. Cross multiply. 1 times x squared minus 9 equals 6x times x minus 3. I get x squared minus 9 equals 6x squared minus 18x. Bring the smaller one to the bigger one, so we have positive answers. I'm also going to bring over the 9 because I have an x squared, so I know I'm going to have to factor. So that's 5x squared minus 18x plus 9. We're going to factor this. It's going to be 5x and x. That's my only choice. My signs are both going to be negative because it's a positive and that's a negative. My choices for 9 are 1 and 9, 9 and 1, 3 and 3. So I have 3 choices. Alright, I'm going to try 3 and 3 to start with. So this right here gives me negative 3x. This right here gives me negative 15x, which gives me negative 18x, which is what I was looking for. So those are my 2 factors. Take my factors, set them equal to 0. Add the 3. 5x equals 3 divided by 5. X is equal to 3/5. 3, by the way. Here we add 3. X is equal to 3. So we check to see what x can't be. Well, it can't be 3. So that one's out. This one's in. I can check it. If I check it, it's going to work. So those are my one solution, I should say, not my both solution. That's my one solution right there. X is that. Hopefully you got that when you were trying it. Okay? So